Hello everyone, I'm the overworked, cyber new type, the Dapper Bard. This is a strange episode. Not only does it not feature Mary Suletta at all, but it also expands the world of the series in a natural way. Frankly, I wasn't prepared for that. Usually the writing is hot garbage. In this episode, we get to meet up with Guel after the events of episode 12 and see how things are going with the remnant of the Dawn of Fold. Let's break this down because there is more here than I was expecting. Slight spoiler, I actually enjoyed this episode. The cold open sets us on Earth as the Resistance forces are running low on supplies. We then see some kids are taking care of Guel, who is currently in a somewhat catatonic state. They end up force-feeding Guel and telling him that he is a bargaining chip and can't get out of this by dying. This is easily the best cold open we've had in a while, because it is short and to the point. After the opening, we see that the Dawn of Fold is hiding out due to the search by the Benerit Group's security forces. They're planning to evacuate, but aren't sure if they will have enough time. We then cut over to Noria, who is beating the snot out of Nika because the plan didn't work out, and Sophie died. It's nice to see Noria show emotion for once. Meanwhile, Nika tries to explain that violence won't help the people of Earth because Spacians will not listen to violence. This causes Noria to get even more angry because, as it turns out, the people of Earth are suffering at the hands of Spacians, and hippies like Nika aren't helping. This is built upon by cutting to Shattuck explaining to his captive father that his plan is to give Earth the assets of the Benerit Group to empower the Earthians. He wants to end the proxy wars on Earth and bring punishment to the oppressive Spacians. Now that we know what his plan is, I'm for it, primarily due to the suffering we see in this episode. It is interesting to note how the main ladies of the show are self-interested, while the side characters are fighting to help others. It's a big change from most Gundam series, where the protagonist is concerned with others over themselves. It is one of the key reasons why this episode works, while many others are just frustrating. It would be nice if this show focused on the characters trying to save Earth, rather than the show's actual focus. Returning to the Earth, we see the Dawn of Fold trying to pack up their base before the security forces arrive to wipe them out. We get a moment where they reference the death of Sophie, who was the hero to many of the children at the base. It would have been nice to see how important Sophie was to the Earth Resistance earlier, but at least they took time in this episode to mention it. I'll say it again. Show, don't tell. After that, we see a few soldiers volunteer to hold off the Spacian forces. Getting back to Guel, we see him confronted by a child who lost her father in the raid. This causes Guel to react as he thinks of his dead father. Guel is also informed that the Jaturk company is going bankrupt as well. This starts to snap Guel out of his mentally broken state. Finally, the Spacian forces attack. We see Alcott's soldiers put up a good fight, but get destroyed one by one. Meanwhile, the location Guel was at gets destroyed in the crossfire. He emerges to find the girl he had met earlier, dying and asking for her daddy. He takes her and runs before stumbling across a crashed Protoros. This is one of the Earth Resistance mobile suits that looks like a generic robot, uses ballistic weapons, and has the armor quality of a Leo from Gundam Wing. Guel takes control of the machine in hopes of protecting the girl and escaping. He is drawn into the fight with the Spacian forces and helps bring the battle to a close as the last evac plane sets off into the sky. When the battle is over, it is revealed that the girl didn't survive. Shocked from the battle and still recovering from everything he's dealing with, Guel asks Alcott what he should do. However, Alcott has no answers, and Guel must walk his own path. He seems to want to go back to space to save his father's company, but we'll see what actually happens. It's a heavy ending that shows the brutality the people of Earth have been facing, while also giving insight into some of the characters, especially Alcott, who has flashbacks to the death of his family. The after-credits sequence features Miorine talking with Rajan Zahi, the troop leader from Prologue. Apparently he is a close friend of Mio's dad, but of course we never saw any of that in the series. Granted, there could have been scenes with him, but the only one I can remember is his brief cameo in episode 12. That aside, he explains that Mirene's mother wanted the best for humanity, and that her father loved her for it and supported her goals. This didn't really need to be here. It could have started the next episode, and yes, I understand that this scene does tie into the episode's theme of fathers and children. The issue is that it throws off the heavier emotional tone of the episode by changing to a simple conversation over tea. A key problem here is that you need to care about the character who has the major revelation about their family, and I'd be surprised if anyone actually cared about Mirene at this point in the show. This episode has scenes that build into other scenes. It has an overarching theme. It has strong visual storytelling. It gave us war drama and intense emotional energy. Where was this the entire time? How is it we get an episode this good after the garbage festival that was the previous episode? It almost feels like Guel was meant to be the lead character, and that building up the Earth's resistance against the super space conglomerate was the plot at one point. All I can guess is that either the show was drastically changed in development, or we have one competent writer who gets to occasionally write an episode. If we were going to follow this storyline, I'd be hyped for the next episode. However, the after credits sequence reminded me that we won't follow that plot. We will be following our stock cardboard main cast as they go from scene to scene like animatronics going through the motions. You have no idea how much I would love to have an interesting, emotional arc with characters growing and becoming better people rather than what we see in almost every episode. I hate that even when we get a good episode, I know it's an exception that just proves the rule that the show is terrible. Worse yet, knowing there was potential for the show hurts because we could have had a great series, and instead we got this mess. Alright, rant aside, I did enjoy this episode. More than that, I'm really happy about how many subscribers we've been getting as of late. Until next time, a big thank you to everyone who watched, everyone who subscribed, and to those of you who haven't subscribed yet, please do so. This channel is growing, and I hope that the community can grow with it. Until next time, I'll see you at the tavern.